This now is being investigated as a crime, and NBC's Tom Costello has more on that. What do investigators know about how this crash unfolded, Tom?
Well, here's what we do know. We do know that the first calls on the house fire came in at 9:18 this morning, and that at about 9:55 the plane down call came out. So this was a very short period of time under which you can see that a plane, or rather the house fire was called in, and then 30 minutes later or so the plane down. Whatever happened, it was very deliberate, very quick. We can also tell you, as you would expect, that the NTSB will investigate the plane crash, and they will be joined in that investigation by local authorities as well as, one would assume at this point, the FBI, if there's reason to believe that a government office, that the IRS, was targeted in this crash. We can also tell you that Joseph Stack did indeed own a Piper Cherokee aircraft, as we have been reporting. It was registered to his business address in California, the address for which his software business was also registered. It was a Piper Cherokee, a single-engine plane, as we have said, can seat anywhere from usually up to 6 passengers, can carry somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 gallons of fuel or so. But what many of us became concerned about early on, and what witnesses were concerned about, was when they said that this plane seemed to deliberately come down at a very steep angle of attack and seemed to be being flown well, if you will, and yet a deliberate angle of attack towards that plane, and that it was obviously a blue sky day, and they immediately were concerned about the fact that this may not have been an accident. So clearly that's the question now. Was this an accident and some terrific coincidence, or was this, in fact, a deliberate attack on a building that contains the IRS offices?
Yeah, the Austin Fire Department says that 2 people have been injured. One we know was severely burned and was sent to the burn center in San Antonio on from the hospital in Austin. Another is there in the hospital in Austin. There's also one office worker unaccounted for. This is a person who was scheduled to be at work today, but they don't know where this person is, and so they're working to try and confirm where this particular office worker is. The FAA spokesperson says that this pilot, Joseph Stack, did not file a flight plan, but in this case, Tom, that would be normal if you were going to take a small plane trip, right? I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for a flight plan not to be filed.
If his intentions were benign, let's underscore this, if his intentions were benign, then if he were going to fly below 1,000 feet, then he probably would not file a flight plan unless he were going into a metro area in which we have what's called a terminal area around an airport. And clearly Austin Airport is big enough you should be filing a flight plan if you're going to fly anywhere near Austin's airport and the center of Austin. If he were flying out into the countryside below 1,000 feet, no, he wouldn't necessarily file a flight plan.
I mean, here's the obvious thing. If you're planning to target a building
right.
and crash
on
purpose, you don't care about flight plans, that's for sure. All right, Tom Costello, thank you for the new information you keep bringing to the table. And Taryn, we believe that's the tail of the plane right now.
Yeah.
That shot coming to us from WOAI.